You spoke about the importance of ritual in elite athletes and something that amateurs could benefit from there. What are the other things that you've seen in the elite athletes that you've worked with that you think us as keen amateurs with a lack of talent but a massive desire to do better, what do you think we could learn from some of the elite athletes and their approaches that you've worked with?
Planning is absolutely crucial. Now, if you speak to an elite athlete, and importantly, if you speak to their team, if you speak to their coach, what they have is they have an intimately planned, very intricate plan of training over a period of time. We call them macro cycles. So it could be a 4-year cycle where they know what they're going to be doing over that 4-year cycle.
Right.
That's then brought down to a meso cycle, which could be a season long. And then it moves down, could be shorter than that, down to 6 weeks long. And then within that, there's a microcycling where they've got individual sessions that they know what they're doing. And I think we can learn an awful lot from that. Because in order to optimize time and critically optimize every opportunity that we have to train, what we need to do is we need to plan for that. So built around that plan is you've got a nutrition plan, for example. I mean, how many athletes do I speak to who turn up to a session, high intensity, really tough session, carbohydrate depleted, dehydrated, because they've just rushed in from the office or taken the kids to brownies or guides. You know, and actually, if you plan it, what you then do is you then structure around it the plans that are required to optimize that session. And for me, that's the crucial thing about it. Optimizing time comes down to planning.
I'd like to get your insights again about some other areas that might help us as amateur sportsmen. So one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given by my best ever hockey coach was just a different way of phrasing how you approach the game. He said to me, you've got to think that your involvement in a particular phase of play is not over until you've made yourself available to receive the ball again. Quite interesting, because normally you'd make the tackle, pass the ball and stand still, but just that different way of phrasing it made you run an extra 5 yards to make yourself available. Another thing for the opposition to think about, more options for your team to have in terms of passes going forward. Very simple phrase that really changed our team performance. Yeah. Are there any other mantras or alternative ways of thinking about sport that you'd think amateurs could benefit from?
The one thing I always say, and I think a mantra worth taking with you, is that what you should view is you should view the recovery as the warm-up for the next session. Is that all sessions are joined together. And so what we do at the end of this session will have a direct impact on the quality of the next session. We are woefully economic as machines, and about 75% of the energy that we produce is dissipated as heat, and that is why we sweat profusely during exercise. And actually that rising body temperature, core body temperature, remains elevated post-exercise for quite a long period of time. So actually trying to address that, or certainly trying to improve the comfort of that, I think is a crucial factor. And again, Bullet and Bone shower is a fantastic product just to provide that comfort, that perception of cooling, which is really important as part of that recovery, which is the preparation for the next session, but is also part of the ritual. And so what we're doing is we're signaling to the brain there, not only physically, but to the brain, we're signaling that's the end of the session, you can now relax. Yeah. Stress levels drop because we've now signaled it. We optimize the time we've got available and we can optimize our performance.